It's Paul Marsh here on Express, and I'm delighted to say that I'm joined by Masterchef winner Jane Devonshire and Rachel Franklin from Breast Cancer Now. Thank you both very much for talking to me.
Hi,
Thanks
Paul.
for having us.
Okay, so we're going to talk about something that's very, very dear to my heart, and I'm talking about the revival of the quintessential afternoon tea. Yes, please. Thank you very much. More of that.
Oh, you can't go wrong, can you? If you got any excuse to eat pretty sandwiches and lots of cake and drink lots of tea, it's going to be the perfect afternoon.
I know, right? I know. The funny thing is, I always remember from when I was younger. I remember my nan, and obviously you had breakfast, and then you had elevenses, and then you had lunch, and then you had afternoon tea, and then so right the way. Literally, it was every 2 hours. It was something you would nibble on, and you could stop for a cup of tea. And I think obviously the world is changing, isn't it? And it's a lot more on the go 24/7. We're all working as hard as we possibly can and everything else like that. And every now and again, it's just nice to stop for a minute, decompress, have that little cup of tea, a slice of cake, a biscuit, whatever it is, and just take a second and talk.
I think so. And I think it's that wonderful sense of nostalgia that you were talking about. It brings people together. And if you've got an opportunity to sit, chat to your friends, eat lovely food, but also celebrate what is a fantastic cause, which is breast cancer now, an amazing charity. You can't think of a much better way to spend an afternoon, really. It ticks all the boxes for me anyway. If it involves food and chatting, I'm quite happy.
I mean, the thing is, I know we're not where we should be, but I think we are getting better year on year on year for people just opening up and talking, really, whatever their problems are, whether it's a health problem, whether it's breast cancer, or whether it's a mental issue, or whatever the issues are. I think getting together with friends, with family, with work colleagues, even whoever you feel comfortable with, to just sit and talk about whatever's on your mind, and not being afraid to talk about the things that are really affecting you.
I think it's incredibly important because I know when I was diagnosed first off 16 years ago, that my primary diagnosis, some people just don't talk about that. It was almost considered distasteful to mention the fact you had cancer. Throw the word breast in there as well, and you were absolutely, oh my gosh, how can you talk about that? You talk about your boobs and examining yourself and all these other things. And it's really important to get over that, because actually this is something that somebody is diagnosed with every 10 minutes of the day in the UK. And if we can't talk about something that's that prevalent, then there's something wrong. So I think, one, it's really healthy to talk about it, and really, really important, so that we understand that you're not alone, that you're not in some little vacuum. There are people out there supporting you. And even somebody like myself, who's surrounded by a really, really strong family and friends structure, you need to be able to get on the phone and talk to somebody you don't know, somebody at the end of a helpline like Breast Cancer Now offer, where you can talk about those things that you can't talk about with family. So, and be open and honest about stuff that maybe isn't necessarily in the conversation. So I think it's so important. I can't tell you, it's vital. And I'm just grateful that the charity is there and offering the support to people like me that it does.
My stepmom suffered with breast cancer. I'm going back possibly 15 or so years ago. She's passed now, but it wasn't through breast cancer. But she had it about 15 years ago or so. And she was exactly what we're talking about. Very stiff upper lip. Very, yes. It's just a minor inconvenience. We'll just carry on with the rest of our day. And I just think to myself, I don't remember. I mean, maybe she spoke to my dad a lot about it. I don't really know, but neither of them really spoke about that. And as an adult now, knowing how prevalent these kind of things are and how much it affects every single living person, to just talk about it. And I think what she would have gone through possibly on her own makes me really quite sad, to be honest with you. And I just think, if we can do something to help people that are struggling with this, whether it's these afternoon teas, there's obviously, I would imagine there's a lot of groups and meetup sessions and various other pieces like that to find that support and comfort within each other.
Yeah, though, and everybody handles diagnosis in a different way. Some people like to talk, some people don't. And for some people, it's easier to talk to somebody that they don't know. And there's no right or wrong way, but you're so right. The fact that we're having this conversation, my nanny had cancer. I don't know what it was. I just know she had it and it was a woman's problem. And I don't think she would ever, ever have examined her own breasts. And I found my lump through examining myself. And that is something now you can talk about on radio. Can you imagine mentioning that? But also it stopped people getting diagnosed because they were ashamed and embarrassed by whatever was happening to their bodies. They didn't want to go to the doctor. So the more we're open about it, hopefully the more people can step forward and reach out for help to the charity, to their GP, or however they need to. And I think that's so important, that self-awareness and the communication. And as you say, if it's something as being able to do it, something innocuous as an afternoon tea, how lovely. I mean, that's a safe space, isn't it?
So, Rachel, talk to me about Breast Cancer Now and their initiative for afternoon tea and to get people talking.
Yeah, thank you. So, well, afternoon tea, as we've talked about, is just such a lovely occasion, isn't it? To bring people together and to drink tea, eat sandwiches and nice cake. But it is sometimes about more than that. And it's an opportunity to raise awareness. When people take part in afternoon tea, we send information just in case they want to have leaflets at their event, which gives tips around how to touch, look and check your breast to make that part of your routine. But sometimes it's just about the conversations. And I was listening to you talking then and hearing and remembering that lots of women and men that we speak to will say things like, gosh, I'd never really thought of it. And then someone mentioned it and I thought, oh, that thing that I've been nervous about that feels different. I went to the doctor about it. So talking is really important, and normalizing it. As Jane said, we hear that so frequently that people either in the past didn't want to bother anybody about it, or it was maybe kind of not thought the done thing. But I think, as you've said, Paul, we are in different times and people are a bit more open to talking about it. And this is really an opportunity to kind of harness that. It's not about saying, okay, well, health information needs to be the whole conversation piece, but it's just making it part of your afternoon tea. And someone that attends might not need our help now. It might not be something that's part of their life, but just knowing that should they go through that, should they be worried about some changes to their breasts, or about someone else in their friends and family that needs help, that they know we're here and they know that they can reach out, just as Jane did and many other women do. So I think it is a great opportunity not only to have a wonderful time and bring communities together, to raise money, which is just vital in allowing us to provide more support and services, but also to fund research for the future, so that in future people won't be hearing the words "you have breast cancer" as much as they do currently, and when they are going through treatment, that it isn't as brutal as it currently can be for people going through breast cancer. So it's got so many benefits, and just benefits of people taking part, whether that's just for fun, just for bringing people together, raising money, or raising awareness. And we hope that it will do all of those things and more.
Yeah, let's get people talking about these things openly. Jane, if I'm going to ask anybody this question, I have to ask you. Jane, you're going to have your perfect afternoon tea. You've got your friends and family round. What are you laying out on the table?
Oh, wow. I love it. People ask me this because I've got so many things that I love. I want to put everything on the table. And if you look at the picture of my afternoon tea, I probably did. But I think it's going to have lovely little sandwiches, crust cut off, little ones, and cut into those neat sort of oblong sort of shapes, And I would always go for an egg and cress or something. My kids would put hummus in there and roasty veggies or something. But that's lovely. But then cakes, wow, it's got to be all about the cakes. Has to be scones and cream and jam. Or jam and cream, the way around you are.
Let's not get into that now.
That one. Someone whose name is Devonshire, I'm not getting involved in that one. And then, I know Rachel loves the Victoria sponge. I love lemon cake. My nanny used to always make seedy cake. And I think it is, for me, a time to be nostalgic and put old-fashioned things. Jam tarts, little jam tarts on the table. And then I always like to do something a bit different. So make a nice frittata or We've been talking about this all day. I do love a Scotch egg, and my kids all love Scotch eggs. So I think there's a recipe on the site for a Nduja one where I've just put some Nduja, which is a spicy sausage, through to spice it up a bit. So but it can be as easy or as complicated as you want it. You know, you can go up the road and buy some cakes and put them out. There's nothing wrong with that. It's about getting people together, raising a few quid, hopefully. I love to cook, so I'm going to make mine, you know, lots, but not everybody wants to do that, and they shouldn't have to be honest. It's about what's
Colin
right
the
for you.
Caterpillar is absolutely fine if that's what you need.
Colin the Caterpillar is always fun.
Devastated. We didn't put Colin the Caterpillar on their birthday thing. So yeah, 100%.
Rachel, Jane, thank you so much for talking to me. I really do appreciate it. If people want to find out a little bit more about breast cancer now and the afternoon tea, where can they do that?
So the best thing that they can do is go to breastcancernow.org. That's our website, and there's lots of information and support on there. If they're ready to sign up for an afternoon tea, then they just put breastcancernow.org/cuppa, and that will take you to the afternoon tea page. And we've got lots of tips, advice. There's also, my favorite bit is all the pictures of everyone else's afternoon tea, so you can have a nosy at what other people have done and how they've decorated their house. But everything that you need is there. But, you know, like we were talking about earlier around breast awareness or support and advice, our website is full of that. And so if any of your listeners, you know, are listening and that really resonates with them and what they'd be looking for, then I'd encourage them to go to breastcancernow.org and find any information and support they can.
Rachel, Jane, thank you so much again. Have a great rest of the day, and I hope I get to talk to you both again soon.
Thank you
Lovely.
so much, Paul.
Thank you, Paul.